Welcome back to Yang Daily. I'll be your host, Alex Cheney, bringing you all the Yang news you need to live your life right. A lot has happened since our last episode, and much of it is UBI news. I got maybe half of it into today's episode, so expect more tomorrow. Let's get cracking. Quick shout out to our Tier 3 patrons, Peter Park, Shay Meehan, and Nathan Stankowski, as well as all our other patrons. You keep us all informed and engaged. If any of you out there want to join these advocates of humanity first and independent journalism, head on over to patreon.com/yangdaily. It would only take a couple of bucks a month from each listener to keep this podcast and community going and growing into the future. Now on to the news. SpaceX safely delivered NASA's astronauts back to Earth today, returning from their 167-day mission on the International Space Station, the longest since the final Skylab mission in 1974. SpaceX's mission control thanked them for flying SpaceX space lines and awarded the astronauts their 68 million frequent flyer miles. Welcome back. In the latest and greatest demonstration of GOP derangement, Mitt Romney, 2012 presidential nominee for the party, was booed and called a communist by the crowd at a Utah Republican convention. Communist no longer means anything to most on the right other than not a Trump cultist. It has turned into another McCarthy Cold War witch hunt, except against anyone who refuses to bend the knee to the cult leader, rather than against actual communism. Romney was also called traitor, which is even more direct. In upholding America's values, he has become a traitor to Trump and Trump's party. A vote to censure Romney failed by a slim margin of 711 to 798. The justification for censure was Romney disagreeing with Trump, voting to impeach, and hurting Republican candidates with his comments. By that, they mean he rejected the GOP's attacks on democracy and on accountability, and his honesty hurt their fallacious propaganda. The document also contained conspiracy theories. Joe Manchin has pretty much killed any lingering hopes for DC statehood by coming out against it. More specifically, he said that it should be done by constitutional amendment, despite the fact that every state has been added through simple legislation, just like the bill that he now opposes. There is zero chance of DC becoming a state via constitutional amendment, as it would require 2/3 majority of states' approval and directly weakens the GOP's advantage. Republican Party leadership have already made it abundantly clear that they are willing to overlook taxation without representation if it contributes to their power. Manchin has also come out against HR1 despite co-sponsoring the bill in 2019. It appears Manchin is just one more politician who will see the world burnt to ash around him if it means a short-term boost to his own power. If it leads to an overthrow of democracy, as it very well may, we will all pay the price of his selfish idiocy. Results are out on a study of the Brazilian cash transfer program. The 12-year study of 100 million recipients of monthly cash transfers finds that those receiving the income had a 61% lower risk of suicide than non-beneficiaries. 61%. I would be surprised if there's a single other policy that can reduce suicides by anywhere near that degree. Universal health care would probably be the closest. This, along with lifespan and health, is just one more way in which UBI saves lives. The basic income movement in Switzerland is launching its second attempt to pass UBI by citizen referendum. The proposal is for a UBI funded by taxes primarily on the financial and tech sectors. They're currently looking for 5,000 signature gatherers. If you know anyone living in Switzerland, let them know. And finally, it appears we have yet another basic income pilot, this time in Denver. Starting July 1st, the Denver Basic Income Project and the University of Denver's Center for Housing and Homeless Research will begin distributing $1,000 a month to 260 homeless Denver residents. A different 260 will receive a $6,500 upfront payment, followed by $500 a month, and a final control group of 300 will get no upfront payment and $50 a month. And of course, along with that pilot, Denver's mayor, Michael Hancock, has joined Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. Welcome to the Basic Income family, Michael. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Bookmark and share Manchin's positions, Romney's treatment, the suicide study, the Denver Basic Income Project, and the Swiss UBI referendum Flood Congress with calls, tweets, faxes, and letters using the ResistBot or Income Movement Easy Contacts below. If you need help, consult Humanity Forward, the Income Movement Aid Database, the Mission Asset Fund, or United Way, and don't forget to Yang Daily.